Soldier Felly, what's up, man? USCJ here. It's the top of the morning. It's the top of the morning. I hope everybody is getting ready to get up, get out, and make some things happen this morning. Listen, we got to talk about the transfer portal giveth and the transfer portal taketh away. And there were several different, I brought the video last night and I talked about Malachi Nelson, and I really kind of addressed that situation that he was planning on entering the transfer portal. So there's several ways that I want to address this, and I want you guys to drop those comments. I want to know you guys' opinion. Malachi, of course, Lincoln Riley's addressed it on a couple of different occasions. He's talked about Malachi possibly not being physically well. I guess that was kind of the way he put this. Is not verbatim. I'm trying to remember exactly how he worded it. After Malachi had shoulder surgery, there were some things that seemed to be like he just wasn't all the way. But I had hopes. I had hopes that Malachi would come through and would compete and be the 5-star. Malachi was like the number one quarterback according to ESPN. He was number 2, 3, and 4 on some other sites. But Malachi, a super potential, man. But first of all, let me say this: if Malachi, if you're watching this, if you happen to watch this, I just want to shout you out, man. My prayers are with you. Whatever you do, I'm going to continue to follow your career. God bless you, man, and got love for you. Now, here's the issue. How do we want to approach this, and what is your thought process of this? Because Lincoln Riley, I alluded to this the other day on my show, and I said Lincoln Riley has always had a transfer portal quarterback, except maybe 1 or 2 times. Let's go back to Kyler Murray, coming from Texas A&M. Let's go back to Baker Mayfield, coming from Texas Tech. Let's go back to Alabama and Jalen Hurts. Other than Caleb Williams and Spencer Rattler, those guys, and those were Heisman Trophy candidate type of guys. And so you got to ask yourself, with the emergence of, Will Howard possibly now being pretty much crystal ball to USC, I brought a video as well talking about him coming on a visit. He was here. He was in the stadium. He was looking at it. And so now we got to ask ourselves, what's the situation with that? We got a guy like Malachi who now enters the portal, incredible talent. But where does Lincoln go from here? Where does Malachi go from here? And what would you do? This is the question I want to know. If you were in Malachi's shoes, what would you do? You got a situation where Miller Moss is up next, and here's the real issue. Because there's 2 different issues that I want to try to address. One is, what if Miller Moss balls out, has a 400-yard game, playing against Louisville, they win the game. Now Miller Moss becomes this quarterback that has a lot of potential to go in against LSU and really do something special, because his potential's there. Miller Moss is not just no loss in the sauce guy. He competed in the Elite 11. He sat behind the best quarterback in the country. You remember, I think it was in the summertime, or that they were doing summer interviews, and Miller Moss said, if I'm going to sit behind somebody, I'm going to sit behind Caleb Williams. That was kind of his deal. But now Caleb Williams is not here. You get an opportunity to go ball out, and then you come back after you ball out. There's another quarterback that possibly transferred from Kansas State. Now, where is that situation going to leave you? That's a whole nother topic within itself. So you got to put your mind in the frame of Malachi. He sees these different issues going on. Social media, everything gets to you lightning fast. One thing about Twitter, one thing about social media, no longer do you have just the reporters that are, the so-called credential porters that have access to everything and putting everything out. People communicate with each other through social media, not just the posts that they put up, but you got inboxes coming from, players inbox me. I tell you, I'll put it to you like that. Now, people like myself, believe it or not, can be an insider, as crazy as that is. But I mean, that's the nature. That's the landscape we're living in now. Everybody has access to information. And so if the information is available, Malachi seeks this information. He sees it. What do you think Malachi is going to do? What do you think he's thinking about? He sees Will Howard all over the internet. He sees Miller Moss possibly becoming a quarterback. So now we got things kind of moving and grooving in a whole nother way. So now Miller Moss, well, excuse me, now Malachi is presented with a situation that's like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? What am I going to do if I have a situation to where I, you know, I'm sitting behind Miller Moss again, and then you have Will Howard here. What am I supposed to do? So you got to look at it from that perspective. I seen some, yesterday I put up a video, and people were saying, "Oh, he doesn't want to compete, he doesn't want to do this," but it's a tough situation. You got a veteran guy coming like Will Howard, the guy's experienced, been in school for 4 or 5 years. You got to expect, and then you got Miller Moss. So even if you expected Malachi to to keep his composure, what do you think Miller Moss is thinking? So I'm just giving you some kind of just some insight on what guys could possibly be thinking. And so, of course, Malachi is going to want to get up out of here. And so I don't blame him. So that's one aspect of it. And so now we got to really try to move and groove and try to see like what direction USC needs to go in, because here's the thing that a lot of people don't realize. So many guys have entered the portal. Over 2,000 and some guys have entered the portal. And it's not just USC. I want everybody to really open up their eyes and really understand that. It's everywhere. You got guys that have been in school for years, starters balling out. They're transferring. I mean, they're in good situation. Look at the quarterback for Ohio State. What is his name? McCord. He transferred to Syracuse. Why? Why would you transfer to Syracuse and leave Ohio State? Can you explain that to me? It's like they're not. Some are not transferring for real reasons right now. So you got to look at this. This is the nature that we're living in. We're living in we're living in an instant moment where everybody wants to be granted access. Everybody wants instant gratification. And so now this thing is really moving into a whole nother planet. And so you look at the rosters of Ohio State, how many guys they had to leave. You look at Georgia, how many guys they had to leave. Texas A&M, they completely lost in the sweet and sour sauce. So it's so many teams right now. This is not just with USC. And there's a loss in the sauce site that's on the internet that I had to, well, he's on Twitter, that really made this crazy post about USC as if it was just USC and not other schools. But I'm going to pull it up for you right now. Here it is right here. Well, this is not the actual post, but I'm pulling up other schools. This is a college football report. They're on Twitter. You can go search them out. They put out a lot of good information. But look at the amount of players that Georgia currently has right now in the transfer portal. You're talking about a lost in the sauce situation. Georgia has, look at this, 5-star quarterback Brock Grandevit. He went to Kentucky. 5-star edge Marvin Jones. You see this? Cornerback 5-star AJ Harris. 5-star Nayland Green. 5-star linebacker Xavier Surley. 4-star linebacker Jamin Dumas Johnson. 4-star wide receiver Zed Hines. I mean, this is crazy. Let me count this. 1, 2. I'm not even gonna name all these guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15. I mean, it is unbelievable. And these guys are 4-star. Only 2 of them are 3-stars. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5-stars, and you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 4-stars. So we're talking about quality players that Georgia's leaving. That's exiting out of Georgia right now, and it's unbelievable. This is what I'm trying to tell everybody. This is the nature of college football, and the sad thing about it is, there was a player that called me up. I'm not, going to mention his name, but the thing is this: he wanted to get into. He was already in the transfer portal. And the situation was he's trying to find a place. And I said, man, I'm hearing, man, that a lot of players are not, some players are not getting finding homes now. So you better make sure that you're doing the right thing. You know what I mean? Because you don't want to be lost in the sauce, and that university pulls your scholarship. You don't want to be in that situation. You want to be in a situation that you know. And so for all you players, if you players are listening to me right now, if you hit the transfer portal, make sure you have a destination, a place to go. Because once you enter your name in the portal, like this player did, he was in the portal, and said, Jay, can you help me this? And I'm thinking like, man, of course I'm gonna help you. But my thing is this: you have to make sure that you have that that you're going somewhere. You cannot don't just lose up. See, education has got to be the number one thing on your list right now. It has to be. Football is great, but and I'm not even gonna get into these statistics. But the main thing is this: get your education. Make sure you get your degree. Utilize that access to that degree that you have to get. So let me get back on this. And so Georgia, you look at these players, man, and you look at all of this stuff that's going on. It is absolutely unbelievable. So that's where we at with the transfer portal. I'm gonna get into some other news and note items that we got to get to real quick, and that is some stuff that the Arnold brothers, man. USC had a phenomenal weekend, and so while everything was kind of highlighted by this situation with Malachi Nelson, because Malachi Nelson is a big time name. USC had some brothers over the weekend. Everybody knows it. I mean, phenomenal brothers. Both of these guys, I'm pretty much plugging in as probably be starters. And with that being said, I'm hearing it's a possibility that we could be losing a linebacker. I mean, I hope that's not true. I'm not even going to throw his name out there. But, like I said, the transfer portal give it and the transfer portal take it. But I want to get into something real quick. The Arnold brothers, you had the two Arnold brothers that committed from Oregon State. Their father said that he did not want them to come to USC until they got Deanton Lynn. So that is the perception that was at USC prior to us getting Deanton Lynn. And so one of the things he said was, this was Junior Arnold, Achille and Easton Arnold's dad, stated that he did not want his kids playing at USC prior to Deanton Lynn and Matt Inch hiring. He said once Lynch was announced as USC DC, Junior said, this is their dad, Junior said he knew that both kids were going to commit to USC. I mean, isn't that amazing? Listen, I mean, how many other kids right now are ready to flip? And I heard that we got a big-time 4-star defensive tackle. He's getting ready to commit to us right now. And I think it's getting ready to happen. It may be happening today, hopefully. But USC right now is in play for a lot of people, a lot of players that we weren't in play for before. And so that is some great things. Also, moving on to some other news. You got Walter Nolan, who is now crystal ball to Ole Miss. USC thought we had an opportunity, but listen, man, we already know how the NIL bag goes. I'm surprised Oregon didn't try to outbid Ole Miss, but here it is. USC is going to do what USC does, and so Walter Nolan is actually crystal ball now too. He's crystal ball to USC. Also, there is you guys already know Mario Anderson, the running back. I brought two running backs to you guys last week. One was Mario Anderson, and one was Marks from Mississippi State. Those guys took their official visit. Mario came on a Thursday, had an incredible time, but he ended up committing to the University of Memphis. So now you got Marks, Mississippi State running back, who apparently is now crystal ball to USC. So Marks is the better running back. He's extremely from Mississippi State. I compare these two like this. South Carolina running back Mario Anderson was more of a break tackle type guy. He reminded me of Spears from Tulane. He was that kind of guy. Kind of keeps his legs moving once he gets around the tackles, and he kind of breaks and he never stops. He just keeps moving. However, 5'10", 210 pounds, which is Marks, Mississippi State running back, who's crystal ball. This guy is incredible. And I got film on him, man. I mean, this guy, he's built like a brick. And right now, he appears to be crystal ball to USC. So those are some good things. Those are some up and up. And then Kamari Ramsey, you guys know he took an official visit. They put a crystal ball in for him. However, he took a trip to Washington right after he left us. Then he took a trip to Ohio State. I think some suggested that he thought that that it was a lock, sealed, and delivered thing. I think it's the jury may be still out on that. Not sure. However, we did get the Arnold guys, the Arnold brothers, and I think that's really. And of course, you guys know I announced it last night. The big time offensive lineman, 6'7", 265 pounds. We just got him last night. So look, man, it's some things on the up and up. And USC, Lincoln Riley's obviously he's not playing when you look at it from a defensive perspective. This thing is moving and grooving, man. What USC is doing right now on defense, I think you guys gonna be happy when you see this defensive tackle. He's a monster. But look, man, it's straight up go time. It's still on and popping. It's on and cracking. Listen, everybody, don't forget, man. I'm about to get out of here. Don't forget. Make sure you get up, get out, and make some things happen. You guys already know. Whenever the news breaks, I'm coming back to you. So look, man, until later on, everybody stay blessed. Fight on, fight on, fight on.